Hey, there you go. I've had a bit of bother trying to get it sent over to the relevant places, but well, here we are, everyone. Good evening. The day after the night before, shall we say? We'll wait for a few people to join us, and then we'll go from there. So at the moment, it's saying might be having a little bit of problem with the internet at the moment, but just bear
Do,
with me for a minute. I'm trying to sort it out.
do you know? I got asked to do the pre warm up music for the game at the Grapes, and they were saying they were going to stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning. And I
Really?
thought, sod that, I'm not having any of that.
Wow. Okie dokie then. Right. Okay. For some reason, our counter's not working on here, but never mind. Never mind. Hopefully, as long as we're getting the chat through, that's okay. Ben Cliff's already on. Good evening. It still hurts. Okay. Right. So, listen, everyone, we've decided to do the show. It's our last Euro 24 show. And we've decided to do it a slight bit differently. God, don't know why I'm so big in the camera. There you go. I'm a big lad, but not that big. Anyway, so what we're going to do, first part of the show, we're going to discuss the tournament itself. And I've banned everyone now. We're not going to talk about England yet. We're not going to talk about Southgate, Kane, or anyone else for the first part of the show. Let's just have a recap, a revisit on some of the highs and lows that we felt we've been through this last few weeks. So we're going to kick off, guys. Most memorable moment in the tournament for you guys. Start with Darren.
Oh, blimey, Gaz. I wish I'd had a bit of preparation for these questions.
No.
Most memorable moment. Well, I think we both agree about our favourite game. That might be another question, but
Yeah.
moment in the fact that it was such a great game and so unexpected, it had been the Turkey versus Georgia.
Yeah.
I reckon so. Maybe the moment of the tournament. I think. The wonder kid from Real Madrid. I can't remember his name. The Turkey player scored a brilliant goal. Maybe that's my moment of the tournament. Yeah, just off the top of my head.
Yeah. No. That's it. That's what I mean. Is spontaneous, gentlemen. Spontaneous.
Yeah.
And Nigel, about yourself, mate.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I actually enjoyed the sort of the minnow games, the teams like Georgia, and I think the games that they had were more exciting than some of the big ones with Netherlands and France and ourselves, England. So yeah, probably the group stages with the smaller teams provided a bit more excitement.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Hang on a minute. Let me do what have I done wrong there. Right, okay. No, yeah, I would agree with that. I've enjoyed the tournament. I think memorable. Yeah, I think what's memorable about this tournament was the smaller sides, the smaller countries. You played with passion. There was the group stages for me were my favourite, which normally aren't, but it was my favourite part of the tournament because there was some amazing games of football with the smaller clubs. And like I say, my favourite game in the tournament, and I won't ask this one of you, Darren, because you'll say the same. Turkey Georgia was I absolutely loved watching that game, and that stands out for me. It was a great game of football, passionate and everything. What about you, Nigel? Did you have a favourite game?
Like I said to you, I'm not saying players at teams like France and Holland and ourselves don't try, but these guys in the smaller clubs, smaller countries, it's not guaranteed they're going to qualify for every tournament. So they played like it was their last tournament they was going to play in, and I think it showed in their play. They said they weren't frightened of going forward. They attacked. Nobody was expecting them to win, so it was go out there and play. And I think that's why it meant so much to them smaller countries, because it isn't a God's given gift that you're going to be in the next Euros or the next World Cup. So they played like it was the last one.
Yeah. I'll just mention that what Ben could say there. I know I said I don't want us to talk about England and that just yet. We're going to get onto that very, very shortly. Don't worry, folks. But yeah, the England penalty shootout, yeah, actually was the best penalties I've seen England take in my lifetime, I think, in all fairness. But yeah, good point. Here we go. Ben's really on it tonight, folks. But join him. Put your messages on, get your comments on. I'm sure a lot of you are going to save them for when we start the discussion on England. But no, join in and get your messaging on, and we will try and answer as many as we can. Germany versus Scotland, my favourite game. Love watching the Hawks get battered. What else we got coming up there? This is Dave Vince. Hello, Dave. Good evening. The early games were far more entertaining. Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. That's what we were saying. The knockout tournament, knockout part of the tournament wasn't, I don't think, as entertaining at all. Maybe because there's more to lose. I don't know. But folks, yeah, drop your comments on. We're just going to touch on it a little bit more before we start on England. Spain, obviously getting the win last night, thoroughly a very difficult one to mention, but they did look good all the way through the tournament, Spain, didn't they? And they thoroughly deserved to win that with the football they played all the way through. Deserved winners in that respect, aren't they?
Yeah, listen, they've been consistent from start to finish. And the thing with their manager, he's not afraid to play young players, unlike some managers we could name. It's they right from the start. People were saying what good football they were playing, and they were sort of favourites to get. It was. I thought Germany would have been there, but obviously they met Spain on the way, didn't they? So I think that the winner would have still come from that match. I don't think. Do you know what? I'm not even bothered that we didn't win it, because I don't think we played well enough to get into the final. I don't know how we got there, to be honest. So
we will definitely come on to that. I'm trying my hardest to keep us off subject of it. I'm sure everyone's dying to start their comments, so wait until we start on it, and then everyone can have their say. But Scotland and in different tournaments started really, really badly. And I'm having a problem. Can you hear me all right, chaps? Yeah. Okay, cool. I think I'm having a few internet issues here, unfortunately. Scotland started off a bit indifferent, getting a right good hiding. But I thought I know they are what they are, Scotland, aren't they? I thought they recovered it well. They had a good game against Switzerland, who I must admit I thought Switzerland was better than Holland from the games played against England. I thought Switzerland were very good against England, and I thought better and more dangerous than the Netherlands, in my view. But sorry,
well, Gaz, throughout the podcast during Euros, I've had a bit of a love-in with Spain, because obviously from their first group match against Croatia, they were a breath of fresh air, weren't they? They were just like they were playing football how I like to be. It's not like the ticky-tacky sort of like stuff in the past. They seem to be a little bit more direct, but still very easy on the eye. And I've never rated Morata up front. Obviously, the wingers, Williams and Lamar, have got all the headlines. But boy, oh boy, does Morata run his balls off up front. Okay, he may not be knocking the goals in. If Kane had half the energy that Morata did and the work that he put in, it might have gone a little bit better, or we might have had better performances. But I don't want to talk about England. I want to talk about Spain. I just want to gush in my praise to say, yeah, they were wonderful. And I don't think anybody begrudges them winning, do they?
No. Sorry, chaps. We are not. I seem to be having some problems with this podcast. Right, all the people watching on Facebook, for some reason, we're not actually on our X. Sorry, for some reason it's not connecting. I've never been having live in it. So let me just check something
it's
out.
definitely on Facebook.
Yes, it is. It's definitely. We're just going to have to leave it at that for tonight. We're not going to be joined by Normally, we get really good following on X as well. I don't know why it's not on there. Let me just double check this again. No.
Yes, yeah, we definitely say
Never mind.
Facebook.
Never mind. Okay, we're going to carry on. Right, okay. I've lost my way now, and
He's lost his train of thought.
Overall view of the tournament, gentlemen.
Kelly?
I enjoyed it, but like I said, I was expecting the big boys to turn up and really turn it on. And I think, like you say, apart from Spain, I think none of the others actually produced anything. But I thought it was a well-run tournament. Obviously, if you're a fan, they've had issues with travel and stuff like that. But overall, I thought it was well organised, looked good. Yeah.
I kind of, overall, not been bad, not been the best, not been the worst. So kind of, do you know what? I really enjoyed the group games up to the first 2 games from each group. Like we said, it was quite refreshing. There were goals, a lot of exciting football. And the big flaw in the tournament is obviously UEFA gave 4 best placed teams a route into the next round. So I feel like that affected the quality of the football in the final group matches, because suddenly there's this huge jeopardy when neither team really wanted to go for a win. They're thinking, 3 points may be enough, 4 points. So I think that spoiled the football a little bit. And then we get to the knockout stages. And there were some good performances from, like we say, the lesser teams. The Giants generally didn't turn up, did they? Italy were poor, France were poor, the Germans were decent, Spain were decent. And as we go round by round, suddenly the Dutch start coming into the conversation, but by all the media. I wasn't really impressed by them, so I wasn't that surprised that England beat them. But Spain have obviously been the absolute standout team, with big shouts to Turkey, your Georgias, and I can't think of the other team. Oh God, who was it? There was another team that I was quite impressed with. It'll come. Oh, Switzerland. Yeah, Switzerland. I really enjoyed the Swiss and the Austrians.
The Austrians. Yeah.
Yeah, they were really good. I really enjoyed watching them and their matches.
Before we go on to England, then the last thing I'm going to say, the opening ceremony, closing ceremony, I thought they were a bit shy, weren't they?
You actually watched
They weren't very good, were they? Let's be honest.
I don't know. Are they? I feel they're a little bit pointless. I'm not. Obviously, it's all a bit show busy and snazzy and all that type of thing. But everyone's in that football ground and tuning in to watch the football, aren't they? It's far too much pomp and ceremony. I was at the Euro '96 final, and they had they had a band on, an orchestra. They had Mick Hucknall. They had this. They had that. And I was just like, I just want to see the football. Yeah, it's boring.
It was funny because when the pundits were having a chat before the match, Lineker and co, I thought they were actually being pretty sort of soft on England. They didn't want to cause any questions against them. They were saying, I think the England is going to turn up. They're going to turn up tonight. And then after the match, they were back to exactly what we've been saying right the way through the tournament.
So I'm just trying to see if I can get a link put on for our regular followers. And
these what you're working that stuff out, Gaz. Kelly, obviously you won a Euro final for England, didn't you?
Against Spain, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I thought that deserves a shout 40 years ago. But was there anything, I know it's a long time ago, but was there any similarities out of Spanish teams lined up then in that final against what you saw throughout this tournament?
No, it's interesting on TalkSport. They said that they interviewed the manager who stepped up from, is it the under 21s or something like that?
1921s.
Yeah, and they said the players say all he tells them to do is go out and enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
And I had Dave Sexton as a manager back in them days, and he used to come out of training and go, little bit of Raz lads. You know, he loved a bit of Raz, and you know, we went through the tournament. We've done it the hard way as well. We beat France in the quarterfinals, we beat Italy in the semi-finals, and we beat Spain in the final. So, but we had, you know, it was the same, Dave. Go out and express yourself, and yeah, that's how we played. But I
do remember the Spanish teams in the early 80s. They had a bit of, the defence had a bit of thuggery in them, apparently, didn't they?
Yeah.
I don't know what it was like for you. Were they still trying to play nice football, or were they just like a completely different looking Spanish sort of like style?
No, it was good. It was a good match. The one player I do remember who went on to do big things was Bocciagrano.
Oh yes,
and he played in that match. But yeah, it was just a good physical match. You know, back in them days, it was physical. And the ref, you know, you don't get a yellow card after 2 minutes, but it was different. But like I said, it's good because we didn't get through the easy way. I mean, England's route to the finals, it was the easier route from the other teams on the other half of the group. But
big time.
You know, we went home and away to France, home and away to Italy, and home and away to Spain.
Yeah,
and we beat them in all 3 games.
Where were the matches played in the final, Kelly?
Where were the matches played?
Yeah, what was it? Where was the home leg and where was the away leg?
It was. I can't remember where the match was played in Spain because I wasn't there. I was getting ready for the cup final against Everton. Because the match was played on the Thursday, I couldn't play in that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So basically, once I played in the cup final, the return leg was at Bramall Lane.
Oh, right.
On a Thursday night. So Dave Sexton recalled me to the side, and that was a good night.
That's incredible, isn't it? When you think about it, obviously. So the first leg, the European final, was 2 days before your FA Cup final.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't know where your head would have been on that Thursday night when you probably, I don't know if you'd have been in a team hotel or not, but you're thousands of miles away.
It was just good to play in the return leg, really, because obviously losing out to Everton and we got to the cup final was gutted about that. So they always say with football, the good thing about football is you've always got another game. And it just turned out my next game was the final of the UEFA Under-21.
Yeah. Well, obviously there's a lot of talk about the fact that England are the first team to lose back-to-back finals. But in your day, with them Under-21s, I think with your win against Spain, I think we retained it because we beat the Germans, didn't we, in the previous final? So there's a lot of shifting of the goalposts and things like that. Who knows, in 40 years' time, we might be talking about England winning something finally. I won't
be here in 40 years' time.
But to be honest with you, mate, have a Wimbledon champion, so anything's possible.
Okay, gentlemen, shall we?
The real host.
Right, we've got the niceties out the way. We've got it's over, and Spain worthy winners. Let's talk about England and our views on that. And so I'm going to kick off, and Southgate and everything else. So I'm going to kick off, and the reason I want to kick off is this is almost like Brexit again. You've got the haters and the people that worship people, and the division is mad. People slating people on social media. People who are questioning Southgate are called haters. Likewise, people who and it's got quite divisive. And I think let's get it right, everybody. At the end of the day, everyone's entitled to an opinion. Now, these people, let's not forget, these people earn a lot of money. Southgate, the biggest paid manager, or best paid manager in the world, I think he's on £6 million a year. Think about that one. So when people have a high expectancy, players that are going to be multimillionaires through playing football, I think it's only fair that people can have a criticism or two if they feel these guys are not pulling their weight. So I think it's fair that everyone has an opinion, and people who like Southgate, people who don't, everyone is entitled, but you don't need to hate each other for it. So I, from day one, well, no, from last tournament or the one before that, even, I've never been a Southgate, and I'm not a Southgate hater like some people will call people that have an opinion. I just don't think Southgate is good enough to take us to the next level. I think he's probably done a great job. He's brought some degree of success to English football in the respect that we've reached some finals for the first time. That's great. But it's very clear, and I said this earlier on in some of our podcasts, it's very clear the reason why I was definitely not happy with England is very much because of what we've seen in previous tournaments. And unfortunately, we've been proved right yet again, and that is you can see exactly what's coming. We're not good enough to get past a top quality side, but we've got the players who are good enough. You know, I think maybe some of our players are probably not as good as they like to think they are, but overall, we've got a set of players there that can compete with the best in the world. There's no denying that. One of the things for me about this whole thing with England, and let me get it straight as well. I don't want Southgate to stay in the job. I want something different. But the problem is, what would that different be? I don't know. But I think if we want to go another level, he can't do it. Everyone reaches a level, don't they? In club football, managerial positions reach a level, then they can't take it any further. And then the club will get rid of that manager and bring in another manager that can take it to another level. And that's where we are with England. We're at a level, an improved level. So fair play, Southgate. But he ain't going to go further. One of the things that really stood out for me is that Spain played their game from start to finish in this tournament. Okay, what I've heard grumblings about is the players that are playing extra time, that do penalties, so they were tired. You know what? If the reason they're in that position is because they didn't play well enough. You know, Spain played start to finish, went into that final with a level of momentum that England didn't, because England had played quite poorly all the way through. I think we had one half of half decent football against the Netherlands. I thought the Netherlands were a pretty poor side myself, but it was a half decent performance for that 45-minute spell. So going into the final, both sides, one's got the momentum of playing great football all the way through, the other playing rather dull, poor football all the way through. And I can't see how anyone can snap a finger. My last comment on this is, again, the criticism we've had all the way along, and people say, but he made these something. We've been asking for him to make these substitutions all the way through the tournament, you know. But how on earth did he keep Kane on the field for so long? Should Kane have even been on the field? You know, and let's just touch on that quickly, and I'm going to pass over to lads. With Kane, one or two problems there. It's either he is genuinely got an injury or he's knackered or whatever, or the system that Southgate gets England to play doesn't suit Harry Kane. It's either or, isn't it? It's got to be one or the other, because he really wasn't on his game. The fact that he was so many minutes on the field, that shows you the incompetence that was in the management of that team. I'll hand over to you two chaps.
Yeah, he's listen, he's lost pace. He hasn't got the pace to play at that level now. But on his defence, you know, the Spanish side played with two wingers, and every time they got the chance, they got that ball into the box. Now, if we had two wide players doing that, maybe Harry might have come alive. But that's not how we play. And you know, if he were, two things could have happened. Harry could have gone up to Gareth and said, listen, I'm not right. Give someone else a chance. But he's not going to do that because he's England captain. So Gareth Southgate should have taken the decision out of his hands, and he should have left him out. Dropped him for a game. Give him a rest. You know, but Southgate wouldn't do it. And I think that's what's enraged everybody more than anything. The fact that I can see it. The girl who's never watched football can see it. The dog can see it. Harry Kane is not playing well. All right, and he shouldn't have been on the. He shouldn't be starting after 3 games. I should have tried someone else. And I'll say another thing now, right? They're all going on about the substitutions that he's made that got us out of trouble. All this. All right, he done the same thing again. And I said last week, sooner or later our luck's going to run out. And yeah, he changed the team, brought subs on. We scored, equalised, but we didn't hang on. All right, and because simply better Spain out of the second gear. We've got 1 gear. We're in 1 gear all the way through the tournament. We haven't moved out of the gear. Spain stepped it up. Once we went 1-1, they went into another gear, stepped it up. And that's the plan B Southgate didn't have, or he didn't want to do. It's all this loyalty stuff. I'll tell you what, if Harry Maguire was fit, he'd have been on that plane. That's how he is, like Southgate. And I said to you about the squad that he's taken with him, there'll probably be about 9 of them that don't even get a chance to come on as a sub. And that's exactly what happened. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I think to bear out what you were saying there, I must admit, watching the game, what a great goal. Sorry, what a great goal he got as well. But once it went to 1-1, we had a 5, maybe 10 minutes where we actually looked like we could get a grip of the game, but we didn't. But I must admit, it was literally only 5 minutes for me, and you could just see Spain scoring. It just felt like it was coming, and then also the other point in that game, which I felt we've rode our luck, haven't we? We truly rode our luck. Last minute winning by last minute goals isn't strategy; it's luck. Yeah. But you've had that break. Let's get it right. People who seem to think that Southgate's strategy was to score a goal in the 96th minute and the 95th minute. Come on, behave and wobble your heads. That is pure, team fighting to the very end. Give you that, but it's luck. And when we had that moment where the keeper saved it, then the defender headed it off the line. Great defending. I felt that was the moment where England's luck ran out. And they'd run they'd had plenty of luck in this tournament.
Definitely.
And I think that for me was when that happened, that was it. I thought, that's your luck run out, or you've rode your luck a little bit too far now. Sorry. Anyway, carry on.
It's just never. The team's just never been right for me. It's just my opinion. Crikey, we've all watched it, and you got some in the camp that, understandably, it's a results business, and we've got to the final, so Southgate has set out to do what he wanted to do. But it's been dross. We could go on about Kane, and I agree with your comments in the fact that we're not playing a system that suits him because he needs speed either side of him. And if he hasn't got speed and he's got wingers cutting in all the time and then going into traffic, he's going to look, what he was, slow and ponderous and ineffective. Throughout the tournament, I've been banging on how disappointed I am at England, but I just can't. It's not just Kane, Bellingham, Foden for a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Rice has particularly disappointed me. It's like he's literally shit scared to pass the ball forward. Mainu, I think he's been overpraised because we've got the results done. He's knitted our midfield together. Has he really? The style has remained the same. So in a kind of way, it's almost hard to blame individuals because so many of them have not lived up to their billing, have they?
No.
Looking at I thought that our defence was going to be the weakness before the tournament, and I'm still not convinced by it. I thought Walker had a pretty shocking tournament. I think I said a couple of episodes ago that Walker was worrying me a bit. But I guess the buck stops with Southgate. There's all this media thing about, on the positive, look where he took us from in 2016 to now. No one loved the England team back in 2016, and I was one of them. But I don't love this England team now by what I've seen during the tournament. And if someone had said to me 5-10 years ago how sort of like meh I am about losing a final, that's what I was. I must admit, I fully expected Spain to beat us and our luck would run out. And Gary, you was talking about that 5-10 minute spell. When we equalised, it was weird because I did punch the air, you know, in excitement. For the only time in the tournament, I had that little belief, yeah. And I started. It's weird. I had a weird feeling. I started to get a little bit emotional because I thought it just might happen here. I might finally see England win something.
Yeah. No, I think we all
like emotion. And then look, it's been highlighted all over social media. We get a throw in deep inside their own half, thrown back to Kyle Walker. No, Kyle Walker takes the throw in, back to Stones on the halfway line, back to Pickford, and he launches it. And yeah,
he launched it a lot, didn't he?
Yeah,
I mean,
reality.
It was just an instruction that you're going to play the long ball or something.
I've got no idea. Yeah, I've got no idea what Gareth Southgate set the team up to do or to accomplish. I've got no idea. When he got to 1-1, and then he said the commentator was saying that Trippier and Gallagher was coming on. I was just like, okay,
yeah.
that says everything about our ambition. Let's not lose. And we played football throughout the tournament where we didn't want to lose. It wasn't about trying to win, take the game by the scruff of the neck. We didn't want to lose. And like you say, our luck finally ran out.
Do you know, after the match on the interview, he said two things, right? That really, like, I thought, I can't believe he's saying that. He said that I didn't think we kept the ball enough. Well, we've been doing that since the start of the tournament, but we ain't getting no end product. Yeah, we could keep it at the back, pass it sideways, backwards, but you can keep the ball as long as you want, but you've got to have an end product, and we didn't have that. And then he came back to the other cards, you know, the other usual card. Yeah, it's been a long season for the lads. I think well, hold on a minute. You've got 10 subs that you haven't even played, hardly. Why don't you rest some of the players, get them on? All right, so he contradicts himself. It's just he covers himself with everything. All right.
Yeah, let me do this, chaps. I can't show it as live because I'm not allowed to. But where did I save it to? Bear with me. Okay, so this is when I get it. Right, ready? Have a listen, and we can have a chat about it.
I think, firstly, congratulations to Spain. They were the best team in the tournament. They were the best team tonight. Our players have been incredible. They've given everybody some incredible nights. They couldn't have given any more in terms of their effort, their desire, their character. Tonight we fell short. We didn't keep the ball well enough. We actually defended well in the first half, in particular, limited their possibilities, but we couldn't play through the counter press well enough, and we actually didn't really use the ball well until we were a goal down. Then we had a decent period in the game. We got the equaliser, but I think the physical toll of the issues we came into the tournament with, the extra time periods, and then tonight having as little of the ball as we did, ultimately that took a big toll, and I think was part of the reason why at the end, you know, legs started to go and you start to make mistakes. But, you know, the players have pushed it till the 85th minute of the final game. They've been incredible, really. I think,
okay,
congratulations to Spain.
There you go. I could rip that to pieces. I've got to be honest with you. That interview. Did you hear it clear enough?
Yeah, I don't disagree with much he said. Actually, it was all the negative stuff. What I wanted him to say. Yeah, we all know that. We could all see that. Yeah. But what I want to hear is why he thought the style that we played was best suited with them players to go and win the title.
For me, I mean, I'm sure the players did give it their all, but
yeah,
something stopped them being as good as they should have been, and to say that they give it their all and we couldn't got any more out of them, it's bizarre.
But then, no, that's what he's got the subs there for. I mean, like, surely, Gareth, hold your hands up and say, maybe I should have changed it. Maybe I should have brought other players on earlier. Maybe I should have give some players a rest. He hasn't said that. He just said the same things that he says all the time. It's been a long season. Yeah, I'd have a long season for like 25,000 a night or a week or whatever it is.
A week, 25,000 a minute.
Yeah, bloody hell. Come on,
a week.
These players now, they get the right food. Everything at a training ground is laid on for them to be at their best. So don't tell me it's been a long season and they're tired. They have massages there. They've got the staff at football clubs these days are unbelievable. You know, when I was at Watford, we had a kit man, a physio, a coach, and a trainer, and a manager. That was it. Now you look at them, so they're getting the best. These players that are playing international football, they are getting the best treatment any sportsman could get. Their preparation, everything is laid on for them. You can't make excuses over it being a long season and they're tired.
Kelly, with the tiredness, I think the players weren't enjoying. Certainly, the attacking players weren't enjoying the style of play. I touched on the fact that there seemed to be a lot of the players seem to be at odds with each other, particularly early in the tournament. But if you're playing a style of football that I think is designed not to lose, that's not enjoyable to the likes of Bellingham, Foden, Saka. You can see it written all over their faces. And what with that, and knowing what they should be, probably what they're capable of, that probably makes them fatigued and tired. And the body language is not how it should be. I think Southgate has got a lot of questions to answer. Why he thinks with what we've got, why he thinks that was the brand to take us to the championship. I can't understand.
Again, I think it's the fact that when they're at the clubs, they're playing at a pace probably 2 gears more than Southgate plays his teams at. So obviously, like if they're playing at a team where, you know, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, they're winning games 3-4, 5-0. You know, I'll tell you what, when you win games like that as a player, you enjoy it. It gives you a buzz. You're looking forward to the next game because you want to do that. But we could see that game that Bellingham first looked like he weren't happy, and it seemed to affect him. He seemed to sulk a little bit, you know, and you could see then that there was something wasn't right with that squad. Yeah,
it was noticeable on the TV, mate. It really was. I don't want this to turn into a Southgate bashing because he's, you know, he's got us to some decent tournament results, but it's no coincidence since St George's Park opened. The England senior team have done well. The ladies team have done well. All age groups have done well. So clearly we've got some fantastic footballers, and all the other sides have had success, as in winning a trophy, except for one.
Yeah. Look, I said at the very beginning, my view has never changed about Southgate. I'm not a Southgate hater. I don't think anyone is. Everyone's entitled. That's what football's about. It allows you to criticise, you know. But at the end of the day, he's just taking it as far as he can, in my view.
Yeah,
he can. You know, his style of football will not win us any tournaments, and I think that's really proven. Again, we've not seen anything really different to what we've seen last few tournaments. As soon as we come up against a quality side, that's it. We're done. You know, we can't get over the line. So, but I think this time round, it's been very clear some of the poor decisions with players that maybe shouldn't have been on the field, players that definitely should have been on the field, that you know made such a difference even with only 10 minutes. You know, had they been given half an hour, what could have been? We don't know.
I don't think it would have made any difference, Gaz, because the way Southgate is bringing these subs on when we're generally chasing the game or consolidating the game. So I think if these players started, Southgate has still got in his mind a brand and style of football that he wants to play, safe football. So I don't think these players, it would have made one bit of difference in the style. Maybe the fatigue element, yes, but not in the style. He's pragmatic, isn't he, Southgate?
I think what Nigel was saying, and then listening to what he was saying in that interview, that highlights some incorrect, a bit hypocritical, really, where he's saying about, we've got players that, been run off their feet and that. That's why you have such a big squad, and he hasn't used it at all in any real respect. But I think at the end of the day, one of the telling things to me now, this is interesting, right? It went out today that England will be flying home on a chartered flight, going through private terminals. There will not be an opportunity for anyone to see them come home. Now, I don't know whether this is because modern day football has become unpopular amongst a lot of fans, which it has. And there's a lot of people don't like modern day football. But one of the things that is a very telling difference, and again, why? Now, it's been made quite clear that in the past, most England sides have failed, are all apart from the one in '66, obviously. But 1990 for me, I loved that tournament. But did they play that well in some games? No, they didn't. 96 as well, we started quite slow, but there was some memorable games as well, which England played phenomenal. And there was some great games in 90. But what I remember, obviously 96 was home, but the 90, 500,000 people came to celebrate the return of an England squad that got knocked out in a semi-final. Yet we're in a final and there isn't. So why is it that then the fans were behind the England side, even though they lost, even, they can't get behind the side anymore. Even, there's a good reason why they've not allowed them players to come back in public, because they're more concerned about them getting slated, I suppose.
They had the darts tournament on at the Winter Gardens in Blackpool yesterday, and the game finished. The darts game finished about 7 minutes before 8 o'clock, and they got the football on the big screens. And they said it was really subdued. They said no glasses or no cups of beer went up in the air when England had equalised. And they said at the end of the game, everybody just sort of went quiet and walked out of the building. It was almost like they were expecting us not to win. So, they weren't. But if we lost, that's what everybody expected. Mm-hmm. They were hoping we'd win, but they said it seems like a lot of people were just expecting us to lose.
I think maybe some of us old heads, we're quite used to it. That's why we don't allow ourselves to get emotionally carried away. And then you get that little moment, like Darren said, where you think, oh, maybe they're going to do it. Oh, we're going to win. And you think, no, don't let yourself do this. You're going to get hurt. Don't do it.
But the thing is, it's like the narrative is the same all tournaments. Most tournaments were amongst the favourites because it's British bookmakers. Let's get that straight, because most tournaments we're not favourites anywhere else in the world. So, every tournament I've known in England, we've generally had one ropey game in the group stages and not been great. But as you go further, and then you huff and you puff, you get yourself through. The narrative builds up. Suddenly it's like it's coming home. It's getting more and more in the media. So it brings us all up into this, like, we start losing our marbles a bit and we forget what we've seen and think, oh my God, this is going to be it, kind of thing. But this was one tournament where I was never fooled about that. I've been fooled. I've been guilty of that in the past. And all these people, I was watching all these predictions about England going to win. Yeah, we're going to turn up this time. What on God's earth made people think that after what they'd seen? Yeah, this time I wasn't fooled by what I'd seen, and I wasn't getting carried away by all the hype and the build-up from 2 days out before the final. And we got what I thought. I thought Spain would actually win 2-0, so we done well to get a goal. But yeah, we got our asses torn to pieces, in all honesty.
I think what we have got as well, when you think about it, okay, so we had the Euro 22 or whatever it was, and I know it's 3 years ago because obviously it was delayed a year. But that was a weird tournament, played in different countries. The final at Wembley, that was a very strange tournament. It didn't have that like in Germany, I mean, the fans have been fantastic, haven't they? They've been absolute Dutch fans, the Scots. They've all been fantastic, and I thought England fans last night were great. And but it's been brilliant because it all brings it into the one country, and you've got, the previous Euros it didn't happen in that way, so I don't think it really it didn't reach that sort of atmosphere and everything. And then I think the World Cup in Qatar was a washout, really, because it was in the winter. You didn't have the pubs, and mind you, ain't got no good weather now, but at least it's a bit warmer than what it was then. But I just wonder whether there is a bit of a generation of supporters this time round that are quite new to the experience of this nature. Qatar was very far away and at the wrong time of year. The other one was the weirdest tournament we'd ever really experienced. And I don't think when it's a home tournament, it quite captures the imagination. Certainly I didn't think that one did. Well, it did a little bit. But there's a generation now that maybe were 12 and that then, and now 16, 17. And I did notice some of the fan parks, there was a lot of young uns like that. So it's quite a new experience for a lot of people, I think. My message to them would be, get used to it. We've had to do it for a long, long time.
Do you know what I'm worried about? Is that they're saying that the three in running at the moment is the lad from Newcastle. What's his name? Manager.
Yeah.
And on about the under-21 manager stepping up. Now, sorry, but if Southgate's structure on that team has been passed down to the under-21s, that's how he wants to play.
Yeah.
Oh, we ain't going to get nothing different, are we?
No, it's just very depressing, Callie, isn't it? Kind of thing. It's
people are mentioning Jurgen Klopp, and I think he'd get that team playing, but I don't think he'll take the job.
Well, the other thing is we knocked Southgate in that, but I also think the corrupt, useless FA probably got a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah.
They
like a yes man, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're a lot to do with it. I think they're trying their hardest to keep him on now.
The truth is, with Southgate, if you could take, if you took your hat off that you don't like his style of play, which is like me, hasn't done a lot wrong. He's had a few lucky draws. He's not beaten teams that we've not necessarily expected to beat, but generally speaking, he's not done a lot wrong. So if the FA kept in, I can understand that. All the Southgate lovers, I can understand that, but I just cannot stand his style of football, and that's the bottom line.
It's a good way to start wrapping the show up. Actually, yeah. Bottom line, I've not enjoyed watching England this tournament. I didn't enjoy the previous, to be honest, but I certainly not enjoyed it this time round at all. Watching England, and I was glad that obviously they get through. Let's get it right, but we're all pleased when they win and get through. But so the big question, gentlemen, and I'll put it round the table: do you want to see Southgate go? And if so, what sort of manager do we need to be looking for? Because we're not going to know who it is. So, Darren, go on.
I don't want to watch England under Southgate anymore. So yeah, I hope he goes, but with his head held high. I want a proven winner. I want someone that plays attractive football, and I've got a name for you that nobody has mentioned: Carlo Ancelotti. Every team that he's ever had with decent players, he's got them to the top. So I'd be happy with Klopp as long as he played his Liverpool style football. But yeah, I don't care what it takes. I don't care if it's a foreigner as a manager. I just want the very best, but someone who plays football pleasing on the eye. But Ancelotti, I was thinking about it. He's won how many Champions Leagues with Real Madrid, with AC Milan. Obviously, he didn't do that well with Everton, but to be honest with you, Everton's players, weren't all that, were they, to be honest with you? So, yeah, I'll throw that one out there for you.
Okay, cool. Just answering Ben there. Ben's saying Lee Carsley. So are we going to get a different style of football with Lee Carsley, though? That's the question. As you quite rightly said, he's already in the structure of the FA. Are we just going to see a replication of the style of management that we've currently seen, which is what we're not happy with? I don't know. Any views on Lee Carsley, gentlemen?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think is going to happen. I honestly think that you've got to have a club manager that's managed one of the big clubs, in the Premier League or whatever, because that's the players that you're getting in your squad. So, you've got to play at a quicker tempo. Them lads are used to playing quick football, direct, scoring lots of goals. You can't put them in this team that the team that Southgate puts out is a team not to let in goals. It's not to score goals.
Mm.
And
I agree with Ben, actually. I agree. It's something you could see happening. Again, my comment about, the FA not fit for purpose, in my view. I think they got a hand in this. It's not just one person. But Nigel, your views. You want to see the end of Southgate, and what sort of manager would you like to see in place?
I don't dislike him. I just dislike his tactics and the way he sets the team out. He seems like a good guy. But
he does.
It's just his football don't excite me. There's some Ben's mentioned Potter, Eddie Howe, Klopp. Klopp's the one I'd love to see. I mean, if you could have any manager, it'd be Klopp or Guardiola. And I honestly think he would get the best out of them players, because most of them players come from the top teams in England. So that would be my wish, but I don't think I'm going to get it.
For me, I would like to see the end of his reign, like you've said already. Let him go with his head held high. There's no denying he's done everything right to the point. But the point is now that he as a manager, in my view, and his style of football, can't take us over that line. And it needs someone a little bit more proactive, not reactive, to take England forward. So that would be my view. Last question, gentlemen, is this. I've heard a lot of obviously from other parts of the UK that England, just not good enough. They haven't got good enough players. I do dispute that. So my question is, has England got the players with the right ability that can be as good as the Spanish have been in this? Have we got the ability within our playing structure in this country, given the right management and style of football to play, are we good enough to compete with the very best in the world? Let's Darren first.
Regarding players' ability, I have no doubt that we've got the ability, but I think the England shirt is heavy. It's been like that for 9 or 58 years now, and I worry about this just isn't one tournament, where we've actually got to a final. This has been going on for a long, long time with equally sometimes better squads, some lesser squads. It's the same thing happening all over again. So we've definitely got the players, but have we got the mentality? I'm not so sure as a collective, because obviously when they're in their club sides, they're at home, aren't they? With like this familiar surroundings. They've got foreign players helping out as well, kind of thing. Yeah, it's completely different, isn't it? Getting a collective all together, getting them to bond, and then getting them to all.
But is that not the same?
I don't think England have got the. I don't think we've got the mental bravery on the ball playing for England. It's when it really matters. I don't think we've got the bravery. We've not had it for a long time. So
I understand what you're saying about the players playing with foreign players in the teams back in the Premier like that, and sort of better players with better players. But you can't make excuses for him. Okay, if he wants to change the style of football We might not have such a great tournament 3 tournaments ago. Then we improve on the next one, and it all builds up to a point where we've got our players understanding how he wants them to play at a faster tempo. And then by the time we get to this one, hopefully we're in a position where we think we're going to win this. But it's been like that 3 tournaments ago. It's been like that, and it hasn't changed.
Yeah.
It gets us to the later rounds, but where's Plan B after that?
I think we're gonna actually finish on 7 o'clock, on 8 o'clock, on 9 o'clock, on 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock. Which is unusual to get done within the hour. But no, yeah, completely. I think look, the capability in the countries there, expectation wise, I think it's fair that we should have a level of expectation with the players that we have. And I think, yes, I know we get criticised by our friends elsewhere in the UK for maybe being a bit over expectant. But I think especially this tournament, when you consider we got the player of the year in La Liga, you got the top scorer in the Bundesliga, and you got people like Foden who voted, player of the season in the Premier League. I think it's a fair assumption that there would be a level of expectancy in any country. We're not the only country. The French have had a rough time, and I know the Belgians have had a lot of stick off there. We're not the only country that give our team stick. But I do believe that, like the top clubs in the world, top countries in the world, I think we should be able to have a level of expectation to match, not outperform maybe, but certainly match the best in the world, and we just don't seem able to do that, do we? But look, it's been interesting. I'll go around the table in a second, just to finish off. It's been an interesting. So I've enjoyed it. Like I say, the group stages I thought were brilliant. I've enjoyed the tournament. I really have. The best team won. There's no 2 ways about it. And overall, a bit disappointed with the performances from England more than the result. I didn't expect us to beat Spain last night, and for probably 85 of the 90 minutes, I genuinely was quite right about my view on that, But I've enjoyed the tournament, and I think that's been one of the good things about it. So, folks, we are going to have a break for a couple of weeks. So we'll be joining you probably 3 weeks from yesterday. Back again we'll see where we are closer to the new season, knocking on the door of the new season. So we'll be having a bit of a break. So we'll let you know when we're back on. But just going around the table now. Darren, last words.
Yeah, well, now Wimbledon and the Euros have ended, I've got to start talking to my other half again now. So, but never mind. The non-league season will be starting soon. I'm going to start taking in a few friendlies, and I'm going to start vlogging again. So
yeah,
I don't know who's watching this, but please feel free to invite me to any games where I can vlog. And talking of non-league, wearing a little pin badge at the moment. This is from I ordered it from Through the Turnstiles. It's called. It's a cracking little website. It's pretty new, but it's promoting a non-league game. So have a look on Facebook. Through the Turnstiles. Highly recommended. Brilliant.
Okay, lovely. Nigel, last from you.
Yeah, it's I've enjoyed the tournament. I've not enjoyed the England matches, but you're totally right. This for me, this was the best squad we've had going into that tournament, and I really wanted him to do well. I really wanted him to, show the other teams how it's done, but it never happened. And I think that's what sort of lets you down more, because, like you say, because of the team that we had, and he didn't play some of his players that could have changed things. But overall, I enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to next season, getting all the Premier, the Championship, League 1 and 2. It was a great season last year, so I'm hoping that this season's going to be even better. And two of my favourite clubs are back in the same league now, Watford and Derby. So
Yeah,
I'm going to enjoy.
yeah.
I'll be sitting on the fence on that one.
I think it's one of the games. I think the one at Vicarage Road's quite early on in the season as well, isn't it?
Third game in, I think. That's
Third game in.
Vicarage Road, I think.
Are you going to try and go down to it, or?
I mean, yeah, I'm going to go down Friday night, have a bit of a night out with some of the friends down there on my Facebook and my Mixcloud and some of the players. Hopefully, I'll watch the game Saturday and then I'll be back in Stafford for a bit of work.
Cool. For me, then, yeah, just remember, folks, we are going to have a little bit of a break now, and we'll be back within the next 2 to 3 weeks in time to get all the gossip and whatever big transfer news that's floating about, and start previewing some of the football that we got to look forward to next year. And yeah, it's so be safe, as I always say. Be safe. Not a lot of football going to be going on, but get out to some of the friendlies, support the non-league clubs as well where you can, and just have a lovely summer when eventually summer would like to join us. So I don't know if it ever will. I don't know whether too many electric cars are on the road, but it's been cold, wet and miserable summer. So hopefully now football's over, we'll get some sunshine and we can do a bit of sunbathing. And that's it from me. As always, never ready with the end credits. Never, ever ready, am I? Dreadful. The last of our Euro 24 end credits coming up. Thank you all for joining us and supporting us through the Euro 24. It's been quite good. We've had some great interaction, haven't we, gentlemen?
Yeah, it's been brilliant.
Interaction. It's been really, really good. I've really enjoyed it. And yeah, we'll see you ready for the new season, people. Come on, sun, give us some summer, and we'll see you all soon.